Are we dancing?
What's going on, Secoya Nation?
Hey, it's Dr. Jess.
With Dr. Schilling, bringing you today's daily insights.
Le pause.
Le pause. I think I got that from Jenna Kutcher. Le pause. Probably not how she says it, but she was talking about this the other day, and I was listening. I was like, that's a fascinating concept. So the question is, how often do you step away? Mm-hmm. How often do you take a moment to assess something before you actually commit to it? What would you say for you?
Well, for me, I'm like, okay, I get the information, and then I'm like, I always take a while to process. So I'm like, okay, probably a week.
Okay.
Maybe, depending on the decision, right?
Yeah, and depending on if we're not mindful about it, we can overbook. We can write checks our bodies can't cash, or our schedules can't cash, right? Yeah. So we'll give you some ideas at the end here what to do, so stay tuned. But when you think about overcommitting, when you think about trying to do too much, right? You were talking to a bunch of participants today, right? Tell us about that.
Yep. So it was, people's blood pressure was up in their visit. And so then it's like, okay, so where is this coming from? Is it something from your brain, from your body, because your blood pressure just doesn't run high just because.
What causes the blood pressure to rise?
Stress, pain, all the things that.
Inflammation. Poor diet, too much stress. Got to get to the voting polls.
Yep.
If you hadn't already voted.
Yep. Even using the bathroom was an example.
Sure, yeah.
Had to get there. And
absolutely.
Yeah. So it was talking about that with participants and making sure that they understood that, if we focus just on the blood pressure, then we are missing a ton.
Absolutely.
In terms of their care. So
it's got to be holistic, right?
Yep.
So let's talk about some things you can do at home in order to make sure you take le pause, right? Si parlez-vous français? I don't. But it sounds nice. Especially if you go to Paris, make sure you speak French, because the Parisians are not very nice to people who speak English. Yep. All that aside. When you think about... I'm trying on my dad jokes here. I got Dr. Jess. She's a mom, though. She gets it. The point is, like, when you have something on your plate, or someone's offering to have it on your plate, like a commitment, like you have the museum out in Hutch, right? Yep. You got 4 kids.
Yep.
You help run a clinic from a medical standpoint. Like, what does that look like, to say, oh, okay, do I want to add another thing to my plate, right?
That's right.
Deep breath.
Yep.
Okay. Does this align with my values?
Yep.
Right? Is this moving me toward what I desire? Mm-hmm. What is the feeling that I want to have if I'm going to commit to this? Okay. Take all these things into consideration. It's really important. Because if you don't, what do you end up having?
Just stress. Just
right. I got to get here and there and go there and do this and that. You're a taxi and you're like, at the end of it, you're like, I feel wiped out.
Yeah, and not fun.
No. Because oftentimes, out of our loving hearts, we commit. Yeah. Like, yeah. An alternative might be like, that's probably not going to happen, but I'll let you know if something changes. What a nice way of saying no, right? You can be like, that's probably not going to happen, but I'll let you know if something changes. That way you say, there's a possibility. Yeah. But it's like a soft Minnesota ice / Minnesota nice way of doing it. Yeah. You let them know it's not going to happen, but
maybe.
And in the meantime, you get to step back and then assess yourself and say, how does this fit in with my values? Do I feel grounded with this? Is this going to overextend me?
Right. Yep.
Because what I've learned, being an extremely cerebral in my head, stuck in my head, like descending down into my heart to feel how I'm feeling, like what is it going to feel like in that situation? What do I want to feel in that process? I think most of us have a tendency in our life of go, go, go. Yeah. It just gets lost.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I'm sure you've never felt that before, right?
Everybody has. You can't lie.
Right, no. Yep. So take this opportunity to take a step back and say, let's reflect on things before I commit to them. Does this align with my values? Is it going to provide me a step toward what I want to accomplish in my life, for my family, for myself? Is it the feeling that I want to have? Am I going to feel good, or am I going to feel resentful for having extended myself into something? And that resentment's on you. Of course, I know that I've done that, self-sacrificed, and felt resentful toward the person for doing it. Like, well, I only got myself to blame. Right? Yep. So just take that opportunity to stop and assess, right?
Yep.
What else would you like to add?
Le pause.
Le pause.
I think it's good.
Get some good French cheese and some vine.
Yeah.
Some vino. That's Italian. But
I think it's really good to journal. And
Absolutely.
Like if you're stuck, especially into really keep that list of what your priorities are in front of you.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
just reflect.
Yep. And check in with yourself daily.
Yeah.
And if you need to, check in with your team members on the family time.
Yep.
And I recommend that every Sunday,
Yeah.
Make sure you're on the same page, working toward that shared common goal,
Yeah.
that compelling vision of the future. All right, guys, take your late pause this evening and write down some stuff about how you're feeling, how you want to feel. And we'll look forward to seeing you for the Daily Insights tomorrow. Bye-bye.